Roll the clip. Ah, stalling. I was instantly taken out of the story. Terrible choices they made in the costume design. I don't know who the decision makers were in this film. The helmets looked like colanders, basically. Helmets that were basically shaped like penises. Yeah. I couldn't quite get over the dodgy amateur style CGI. Paul Mescal. It was a total mismatch of actors. Denzel Washington's character, who was all over the place. He's just all over the place. Oh, all was not lost. But, you can't win them all. What would I give this film a rating of? Gladiator 2 is directed by Ridley Scott. It stars Paul Mescal, who you might recognise from Normal People. It also stars Denzel Washington, Connie Nielsen, and Derek Jacobi. Two returning actors from the first film come back, which is really good. Keeps that continuity. Also, Joe Pascal is a new cast member. He plays General Axius, and also stars Joseph Quinn, who you might know from Stranger Things, and also another actor who I've not seen or heard of before until today, a guy called Fred Hetchinger. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. But yeah, good cast. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so what is the film about? The film starts off in a small coastal town which is being attacked by the Romans by a ship. They're coming in at sea, full on amphibious assault on this small little town in Africa, I think. I'm not entirely sure. And this is basically the hometown of the character Lucius, who you may remember is the little kid from Gladiator 1, and he's now a grown adult. This is 25 plus years into the future from the first film. He's in this little small coastal town. At this point, you don't really sort of know why he's there or what he's doing there, but basically that's where he is. This place has sort of become his home and is going to defend it. The Romans are victorious and decimate the town and basically take the survivors as prisoners to train them up to be gladiators. Upon his return, General Axius, Pedro Pascal's character, who is the leader of the Roman army and was the one responsible for the attack on this coastal town, comes back a defeated man and no longer wants anything to do with war and return to spend the rest of his life with his family. He's sort of battle worn and weary, and he's just, wants nothing to do with the military anymore. The twin emperors deny him his wish and ask him to basically conquer the rest of the world, to which he does not take kindly to. And this basically is his motivation throughout the whole movie and what motivates him to change his ideas and his mind around the whole Roman Empire. One of the survivors of this attack is, in fact, Lucius, who is played by Paul Mescal, and like I said, 25 years older from the first film, and he seeks revenge for the death of his wife, um, which is his motivation. The death of his wife you see in the first 15 minutes of the film, and killed by Pedro Pascal's character, and basically this is his driving force throughout the whole movie. He wants revenge for the death of his wife. Lucius is sent to a kind of gladiator school, is trained up by Macronus, played by Denzel Washington, who is someone who desires power, influence over other people, and willing to do anything for it. The two emperors are Emperor Caracalla, played by Fred Henchinger, I think that's his name, and Emperor Gator, played by Joseph Quinn, who you may know from Stranger Things. Together, they are unruly and ruthless, maniacal people who rule by fear and intimidation, and putting together fights to the death just for their own amusement. They are unstable, unpredictable, sort of madmen, power hungry people who just drink, eat, take drugs, have parties, and spend their wealth willy nilly with no regard to other people and how it impacts other people. Yeah. Macronus uses manipulation and deceit to rise to power, using the games as his way to reach the top. Lucilla, Connie Nielsen's character from the first film, returns, and since the events of the first film, she's been living in Rome and is married to General blah, 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 what's his name? General Axius, and discovers that her son Lucius is still, in fact, alive, and fears for the safety of him as a gladiator, and tells the general. And from that, they sort of bond together and plan a coup to basically overthrow the government, to bring back the republic with a senate and bring power back to the people, which is something that Richard Harris's character from the original film, Marcus Aurelius, wanted from the start. They are both discovered, and both, as punishment, enter the gladiatorial arena and fear for their lives. There are several battles that take place in the Colosseum with animals, water, and soldiers, all ranging from various different kinds of brutality and death, which you might expect from a gladiator fight, to entertain the masses. Macronus rises to a position of power and reaches the top using his manipulation and influence. Let me just start by saying I'm not a filmmaker. I have no skin in the game whatsoever. I just have years of experience of watching loads of movies, good and bad, and that's all I have to go on. I have no technical ability. I have no idea what goes into making a film. I know a few things, but that's basically it. I know for a fact that everyone that goes into making a film always goes into making it with good intentions, thinking, oh, this is a really good script, got really good cast, good director, and are just really enthusiastic about making a film. And I know a lot has to go right for a film to even make it to screen. I'm not really sort of hating on anybody. I'm not going after anybody. This is just purely my opinion and my observations of the things that I've seen in the film that just didn't quite sit right with me. It's just my honest opinion. That's it. You can take it or leave it, take it with a pinch of salt, throw it away, go see it for yourself, and make your own mind up about the film. But this is just my humble opinion. Okay. Oh, stalling, because I really don't want to say anything bad. I don't normally do. Like, most films are really good. I like films, even good or bad. There's always something positive to say about something, but oh, come on, get it together. Come on. Right, my thoughts. Ultimately, this film is nothing more than a basic sort of revenge film, and a call to action to rise up against the establishments. That's sort of like the basic messaging of the film. Um, from the first 15 minutes of the film, I was instantly taken out of the story because of the terrible choices they made in the costume design. Um, I'm not blaming the costumers. I'm not blaming the people who put all the things together, the actual artists themselves. Um, don't know who the decision makers were in this film, but ultimately yeah. The helmets in the first 15 minutes of this coastal town that we see that is being attacked by the Romans looks like colanders, basically, that were strapped to their heads. And not being funny, there were some helmets that were basically shaped like penises. Yeah, I mean, I don't know whose bright idea that was, but that's not a good look. No. You would have thought with a big budget that this film probably had, the details of the budget haven't really been released yet, but I'd imagine it was 200 million plus. You would have thought it would have been a lot. They would have focused a lot more on the costuming, but hey ho. Um, I couldn't quite get over the dodgy amateur style CGI animal effects. It was very obvious that the animals were CGI. In fact, I think from the first film they did use actual tigers for some of the scenes, used in camera animals to come in, and but all of it was done using CGI, and it wasn't particularly great, um, especially during the early gladiatorial fights. They basically have these CGI monkeys, which, yeah, questionable. The slow mo crowd scenes and the poor quality costume design of the film really sort of hindered the aesthetics of the film, seeming amateur considering, like I said, the type of budget this kind of film has. Um, the cast. That's a big one. That's a big one. Um, it was a total mismatch of actors who basically seemed to have no idea what they were doing and looked like they made up pretty much every single line, and just, I don't know. Um, all was not lost. The returning actors from the original film, Connie Nielsen and Derek Jacobi, were terrific and really sort of served their part of the story really well. Also, special note, I think, is the MVP of this whole piece, was Pedro Pascal's performance. Particularly, was really good. Um, I was personally skeptical about hiring a non-English speaking actor coming in to do an English acting role and speaking in a straight English accent, because not being from England and being from South America, I think he's from Chile, speaking Spanish or Portuguese. Is it Portuguese? Spanish? I don't know. Someone can correct me on that. But their brain makeup is completely different to that of an English brain chemistry. And you can really tell he worked really hard on the accent, and his character's way of thinking, and pulled it off brilliantly. I thought his performance was the standout performance out of everybody, and I really hope that everybody else can see that as well, and basically give him all the props and all the accolades, because yeah, he was terrific. Um, Producing the emotions required for the role is not easy. Like I said, especially if you're not an English speaking person as your first language, because like I said, the thought process is completely different. Another actor's performance that I really enjoyed was somebody again I've never heard of before. Was absolutely amazing. Alexander Karim. Karim, if I'm pronouncing that badly, I'm sorry. But he was Ravi, the Doctor. His interactions with Lucius reminded me very much of Jemon Hounsou's character from the original film, and really sold the performance as the confidant and comrade to Lucius. So yeah, he was very, very good. However, I'm sorry, Paul Mescal, I found to be, to put it into musical terms, he was just singing one note the whole way through. Very sort of monotone, emotional, sort of car wreck, really. His emotions didn't change at all throughout the whole film. His performance was just, I don't know, I don't understand. I don't understand what was going on there. On the other hand, you've got Denzel Washington's character who was all over the place. He was singing every note on the scale. It's going up, it's going down, he's mad, he's powerful, he's aggressive, he's kind, he's being controlling, he's pulling back, he's just all over the place. Oh. Like, nothing against everybody that were in the film, and I've liked all their previous work. I don't know what they were thinking. Anyway, like I said, I'm not a filmmaker or an actor. I have no skin in the game. All in all, what would I give this film a rating of? 5 out of 10. And that's being generous. Pedro Pascal is one of the real saving graces of this movie. If it were not for his amazing performance and also Alexander Karim's, I would say it would be a lot lower than that. It's unfortunate, but you can't win them all. Here's a little comparison. Top Gun Maverick was a much better sequel of this type, a sequel of a film, of the original film that was made like 30 something plus years ago. They, no pun intended, really stuck the landing and understood the assignment that was given to them. Again, they managed to make 4 John Wick movies in a lot less time it took to make this film, Gladiator 2, with a lot lower budget, and they were much better films. Granted, they're not the same genre at all, but it's amazing what you could do, with a smaller budget, smaller crew, great storyline, great people around that have been curated specifically for it, and yeah, this baffles me completely. I honestly don't understand what's going on. I was literally all for it to start with. I was ready to really like this film. Like Forrest Gump says, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel, and I shall see you in the next video.